Hi and welcome to the Price Doctor Price Builder video guide. We're just going to cover a couple of things in this. So what we've done in the previous video, we ran a couple of calculators, a foundations one and an electrical one, based on some inputs, and we're now just going to run through the outputs they've generated. So on the Price Builder tab, you have the foundations task and also the electrical task. And what the system has done is, based on the data we've given it, it's generated a description of the works. Obviously the description is very important because it's telling the client what you're going to do and how you're going to go about doing it. This is obviously quite time consuming to generate if you're doing it manually, but the system's done it for us, so it's essentially not taken any time to do. The next piece of the puzzle to get into the price of £3,388 for our foundation is the costs. So what the system's done is, it's again based on our data points, it's worked out we need 8 cube of concrete. We're going to be on site for a day pulling the trenches and pouring the concrete in. We're going to have a couple of days excavator and dumper hire just to make sure they're ready for us when we get there. And you can see that's then broken down here. So our materials cost is £1,100 based on the cubic meters of concrete. Then we've got labour covering the rest of the items. We've got our markups and profits here. So what you can do is you can then pick up any price changes you want to make. So perhaps you want to be a bit more competitive than charging 15%. What you do is just change that to perhaps 5% and run update price, and that will rework the numbers for you. So it's very easy to change things about. Perhaps you've got a good rate on your concrete and it's coming in at 120. Again, what you do is just overkey that and then click update price, and that'll run the new numbers for you. Equally, perhaps you think the site access is a bit poor and it's going to take a couple of days. If you want to change it, how long you're going to be on site, you just change to the 1 day to 2, and that will rework our numbers for us. So you just run update price and it changes the numbers for you. The next piece is blank lines and custom components. So what we do with the blank lines is you'd use those if there's something you need to do that isn't one of our calculators. So there's quite an extensive list of things we can do, but there's obviously some things that we can't. So to get around this, what you would do is you'd add a blank line instead of using a calculator. So you just click add blank line, and that'll drop a blank line onto the page for you. So this could be any old thing. So let's say, let's just call it a custom task for the time being. So you just drop that in there. Make sure you save it regularly just to stay on top of things, okay? So you need to get a price for your custom task. What you would do is you'd build it up in much the same way that we do with our calculators. So you've got your component list and your items. So what you do on the components drop down is just select how many components you want to add. So let's drop in 3. You can add more. You're not limited on, if you add 3 you can't add any more. And they drop onto the page, and then all you do is custom task. Let's say it's going to take a carpenter. We just do carpenter, and that'll drop in a suggested item for a carpenter. There we go, carpenter skill day rate. If you've set your own custom rates, they'll be prefixed with custom here in the drop down, and you just click on them and that'll then drop the item in. And you just keep repeating these steps until you've got all the parts that are ready to build up your price.